Who is better, the UK or the USA? Spicy one, Auntie Liz.
It's not that bad. It's not that bad. Actually, do you know what? I wouldn't have even heard about this if it hadn't created a bit of a debate on Reddit, on the Strongman subreddit. So the topic is, Paddy Haynes was on Eddie Hall's podcast and he said that he thinks the standard in Britain is higher than it is in America at the moment. And people were debating the nuances, I guess, of the conversation to see.
It's an interesting one because, you know, as a impartial fan, if you like.
Are you impartial? You're British.
I am British, obviously, but I think what I have is coverage of all shows.
Yes, yeah.
So I think some people can become biased to certain shows.
Okay.
And I think there is some amazing athletes in the UK and there are some amazing athletes in the USA. And to say who is better, I think we've really got to dive deep into just saying, okay, you know, say World's Strongest Man had 4 Brits in this year.
In the final.
I don't think that's enough just to say that the UK is better than the USA. I mean, Strongest Man on Earth was just plastered with American athletes that all did very, very well.
Which was largely invitational, to be fair.
Invitational, absolutely. British athletes tend to excel pretty well at the Giants Live shows. Mm-hmm. There is that home ground advantage. You can say the same for American athletes at the Arnolds and other shows where there's that home ground advantage. OSG is a good example of up-and-coming athletes. So there's a lot of factors. I think the type of competition is important. Mm-hmm. You know, sometimes some comps are much more fast-paced. Athletes are not using the heaviest of weights. I mean, Lucas Hatton, right? Lucas Hatton didn't do well at World's Strongest Man. No. He's not excelled at Giants Lives or anything like that.
He's only done one.
That's true. But you put him in an Arnold's or the Strongest Man on Earth, and those type of shows, he's an absolute beast.
Yes.
So just because he has a bad result and doesn't make the final of World's Strongest Man, do we take him out and just dismiss him as a great athlete? Because I think in 9 out of 10 comps, that guy's beating most people.
Yeah, and like when I first read it, my knee-jerk reaction was to disagree. I thought, no, America's better. Because I was running through names in my head. I was thinking, all right, who have we got? Like at the very top of the American pool, I would say like your Evan, Trey, Lucas, Tom Evans, who just came 3rd.
Yep.
God, am I missing anyone really obvious? Because then we've got sort of layers. Like maybe that's your S tier right now in the USA. And then you've got, Austin also. Bryce Johnson, Nick Guardione. Those guys, you know.
Sure.
The sort of chasing pack, I guess. Then I was thinking of the British equivalent. I was thinking, well, Tom, obviously, being a 3-time winner of Worlds. Paddy, I would put in there now as definitely one of those. Luke Stockman and Luke Richardson. Who else is doing really well on the British scene right now?
Shane Flowers made the final of World's Strongest Man.
Yeah.
There's other athletes. I mean, you've got athletes coming back from injury. Kane Francis has done well in Champions League.
But what's really interesting, you touched upon it, I think the landscape for British athletes and American athletes is totally different. So you see, you know, the Brits really excel in the world of Giants Live and the World's Strongest Man, which is part of a family of competitions, I guess. And you don't see those names as often in things like Strongest Man on Earth or the Arnolds, with a couple of exceptions like the Stoltmans. But then the Americans really do tend to dominate the shows like the Arnolds, Strongest Man on Earth, even Rogue Invitational.
Yeah, very much so. And I think it does come down to events.
Yes.
Like, we don't have anyone either side that's dominating right now.
No.
You have a Tom Stockman at World's Strongest Man, he's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Not yet managed to recreate that at other shows. You've got someone like Paddy Haynes, who is new to the scene, doing very well in the Giants Live this year, made the final of Worlds. We're yet to see what he can do at some of the shows. He does have Rogue coming up, so I'm looking forward to seeing how he can do there.
But how would that translate to the Arnolds and stuff like that?
Yeah, definitely. You know,
which we just don't know.
Austin Andrade, certain type of heavy competitions, that guy's great. Yeah. You give him a running event, he hates life.
Do you know what? It's so funny. I was talking to Austin after the Giants Live that he just did, and he said there should be 2 types of Giants Live shows. One for people like him and one for people like Paddy.
This is why when I talk about who are the greatest athletes of all time, it's the ones that could do everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And, you know, there are athletes that are good at all types of comps, but there are some that excel at certain comps.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, when you take a group collective, most people are in that category of I am very good, but there's certain shows that will suit me more than others based off the type of show, based off the type of events.
Yeah.
What this really kind of brings back is that we need those team comps again of UK versus USA. We had them in the past, and it's 1-1, I believe. Or was it 2-1 to UK?
But to make it really, really fair, you need not just Giants Live to host it, you need the Arnolds to do one, strongest man on earth to do one, to get a true flavour of everyone's
It would be cool if
weaknesses.
we could put on a team show with 10 events. And how many athletes would you have from each nation?
You'd need at least 5.
Five of the top Americans versus 5 of the top Brits. Who should be in those teams?
Oh, no, don't.
Well, I'm going to put it up to the
Well, I would go with the first names that I said. So I would definitely
You've got to have a Tom.
Yeah. Oh, right. You do Brits. I'll do America. I'll have Evan, Trey, Tom Evans, Lucas. Am I missing anyone? I'll put Austin in there as well.
Just off the top of my head, I mean, you've got to have Tom. I would have Luke Richardson when healthy. Paddy Haynes right now. Then I'd probably still have Luke Stoltman, I think, in that team. And then you've got to think like tactically as well.
You need a static monster because I've got loads.
and maybe we are like lacking a static monster. But then when you have a team competition, you can almost, like, depending on how many...
you play people to their strengths.
Yeah, but there's athletes out there that maybe you wouldn't consider them great all-round athletes, but they are exceptionally good at certain things.
Yeah.
You know, you've got specialists at log lift, specialists at deadlift. So it makes a team comp a little bit different. But I think the standard is fairly close. I don't think one is kind of dominating the other when you look at the whole landscape of strongman.
Yes, I think if you're a fan in the UK, just watching the Giants Live and World's Strongest Man at Christmas, you might think, like the UK is kicking ass right now and we're the best nation. If you're not seeing that on TV, but you are tuning into YouTube and watching the live streams for the Arnolds and Rose, you're not going to think that. So it's a matter of perspective, isn't it?
It is indeed.
I think the answer is it's pretty close.
It is.
Overall.
Absolutely. I think if you kind of chucked in Canada into the mix, the North America.
If you make it North America versus Britain, North America wins. When you start throwing in Mitch, Tristan, and the other great Canadians, I think it becomes hard to compete with that.
Anyway, it's an interesting video, an interesting topic. Let us know your thoughts. Do you think the UK is better, or do you think the USA is better? And should we bring back a team competition? I really enjoyed the team.
I loved it. Yeah,
it's good fun.
Yeah, and no shade at all, Paddy. But I think it's an interesting talking point.
It's a fun discussion. And I think it's something that kind of gets people talking.
Some people on the thread, they had such opposite views. I was surprised that people could, like, some people were like, Brits all the way. Like most people were balanced. Like, I think proper strongman fans are really balanced because they see everything like
I think so. I think you've got to kind of be subjective. Obviously it'd be easy for us to just sit here and say, the UK's better.
We would never.
But when you look at like Evan Singleton, just one of the strongest man on earth, Lucas Hatton is top 3 in almost every show that he does, except for World's Strongest Man
and Giants Live.
But then I would probably put Thomas Evans into that kind of mix. He's not the best at World's Strongest Man.
No.
Very good at the Arnolds, very good at Strongest Man on Earth, very good at Rogue. So there's a big mixture there.
There is. It's an interesting conversation.
Timing, what kind of shape people are in.
What their priorities are in terms of training for it.
So many different things to focus on. Anyway, guys, let us know your thoughts in the comments below. A little bit of a fun one for you this week. Take it easy, like, share and subscribe to the channel, and we'll catch you guys next time.